Hi, I'm Ben from Magic Seaweed. We're going to talk about the O'Neill 5212 4.5mm wetsuit now. It's called the 5212 because O'Neill started making wetsuits in 1952 and it's 2012, so it's a 60-year anniversary suit. They've introduced this year this Techno Butter neoprene. First thing you notice when you get the suit is it just feels really nice. It feels smooth. It's going to be nice against your skin, so it just feels a little bit better than some of the other neoprenes out there. The 4.5mm suit is tricky to put against all the other ones. It's obviously a lot more flexible. It's not going to be as warm as some of the other 6mm suits or 5mm suits that we do. So bear that in mind if you're looking for an all-out cold water winter suit. Perhaps have a look at one of the hooded suits if you're in really cold water, or at least one of the thicker wetsuits. But if you're looking for performance, flexibility and comfort, and you're not going to be surfing in really cold water, then using this suit, combining it with a hood, boots, gloves, anything like that, is certainly an option for surfing through the winter. One thing to note about the seams on the 5212 is they're called Super Seam by O'Neill. They look very similar to the Power Seam, which XL and C skins do, and Fuse Flex and Quicksilver and Rip Curl do one as well. But they do have stitching, so it's stitched on the inside. You can see that they don't tape or liquid seal it on the inside. That gives it a bit more flexibility, but it's slightly different to the other Power Seam technologies, the things that look like this. Same sort of idea there. It gives you more stretch because there's less of this seal on the outside, and it still gives you a watertight seam, so there shouldn't be any water getting in at all through there. They've gone for a nice green colour. This is a Magic Seaweed exclusive online with this green contrast colour on the seams. So there's something to look out for, which makes it a little bit different to the other suits with that kind of seam technology. You'll also notice this Techno Butter neoprene has the perforated layer. Again, a few of the other manufacturers use this. Rip Curl, XL use Airprene, Rip Curl, and a few of the other ones as well. So it's not unique to O'Neill, but it's definitely something that's going to give you more warmth, which is important in a bit of a thinner suit. So this 4.5mm doesn't have the polypro like thick lining on the inside. There is a kind of a lining. It's a little bit thicker than a standard kind of neoprene, nylon jersey lining, but it's not as thick as some of the other polypro linings you get on the other suits, especially in the chest panels. So the front zip system, again, very similar to other brands. It's got a nice zip which is permanently attached to the top and the bottom, so you're not fiddling. Slightly different to Rip Curl and Billabong on that count. If I show you a Rip Curl suit, the zips come off like that, so you fix it on like that and then zip it up. Same with Billabong suits. With O'Neill you get a nice chunky zip and it's always permanently attached, so there's no fiddling around when you're doing that. It's also sloped a bit, you can see that, so if water gets in it should drop out. The drainage holes on O'Neill suits, they've made them quite big, which is good. Any water that comes in through the top flap is going to come out of these drainage holes, no problem. The ends of the arms, they've kind of cinched these up. I'm not sure how they've done that. It's kind of like pressed it together, so it just feels really nice. If it's especially if you're not wearing gloves or anything against your skin, it just feels a bit nicer than some of the other suits, which are here's a Rip Curl. It's just kind of the end of the neoprene's just like that. They've put a little bit of seal around there to make it a bit tighter. But O'Neill have really good, paid a lot of attention to detail in this suit. Made it look nice. The kind of contrast colours. This is unique to us. Is an exclusive for us online. Is the green Super Seam weld. So it looks good. It feels really good, and it's going to be really stretchy. We reckon, as I said before, you want to go for a thicker suit if you want to go in really cold water, or if you're surfing throughout the whole of February, March time when it's really cold. But this suit's going to do for the majority of winter. It's going to be comfortable, flexible. You're going to be able to move around a lot more than in some of those thicker suits. The other thing that O'Neill do a little bit differently sometimes to other brands, this is a 4.5mm by 3mm. So 3mm on the arms, 4.5 on the other panels. They've cut this panel, as you can see, is a huge panel all the way from the knees right up to the top of the chest. There's no single line neoprene on here to break that panel, so it's stretchy. It's going to be no seams to let any water in. Likewise on the back, it's just one huge panel all the way down here. And this is this air chamber Techno Butter neoprene, so it's comfortable and warm and super stretchy. So all the features combined make it a really good performance suit. to measure thickness of the suit, we're using these calipers, and these give us a really sensitive reading of exactly how thick the panels are on the wetsuit. So as you will see if you watch some of the other videos we do, they do come up not necessarily exactly what it says on the suit at all, but we'll see what O'Neill comes up as. It's kind of a fraction over 3mm there, almost 3.5mm on the arm panel. It's a 4.5-3mm suit, so that extra bit of an inch is going to be, sorry, a bit of a millimetre is going to be partly due to that lining, which is the Techno butter. It makes it feel so much more comfortable, gives you a little bit of extra warmth. The chest panel, let's just go inside and do that. Chest panel, it's pretty much bang on, just a fraction under 5mm we've got there. So again, that little bit of extra on top of the 4.5 that's listed on the arm is going to be the lining of the suit, but it's going to be one of the most accurate kind of measurements on the arm that we get from any of the suits we were going to measure. This gives you actually what it says on the arm, so you're getting a more flexible suit than a thicker 4mm or 5mm from another brand, but it is going to be not as warm. The extra thickness is going to give you a bit more warmth in the other brands, but if performance is key, if priority is performance for your winter wetsuit, then the O'Neill 5212 is probably the one to go for. Like with any wetsuit, especially with a winter wetsuit though, you need to make sure you get the right size. Each brand has different sizing, so you might be a medium tall in one brand, you might be a large in another, and so on. The best thing to do, if you have a look at the size chart link on the Magic Seaweed site, there's a link below the video. There's also a link on every product page on the Magic Seaweed store, so any wetsuit page you'll be able to find a link to the wetsuit size guide. What that will do is give you a size chart for every different brand we do. So we've got Seaskins, Rip Curl, Billabong, XL, Quicksilver, Roxy. Every brand that we do is on there, and they're all slightly different, so do check that out. See if you can find a brand which fits your body shape. A lot of them do individual sizes in different suits, and maybe not in others, so bear that in mind. On any of our wetsuit pages you can filter on the left hand side. If you're on the winter wetsuit page for instance, you can filter by size, you can see exactly what we've got in that particular size. So check out the sizing, try and get one that fits really snugly. You need a really nice tight fit, which you might find one brand gives you that tight fit and another is a little bit looser. So less critical in summer suits, but very important in winter suits especially. Check out the size chart, make sure you get the right size, and if you can't find one in the brand that you like the look of, have a look at a different brand. More than likely one of them will have a size which is really suitable for you.